The slight trembling of Hiruzen's eyebrows did not escape Danzo's notice. The formal meeting room at the Hokage residence, the seat where budgetary policy for the governance of the village of Konohagakyo was determined. In addition to Hiruzen and Danzo, the counselors Koharu and Homura were there. At this meeting, they would set the basic policy and, taking into consideration, Hiruzen would select the personnel in village governance and the official budget. About the budget for the military police force. Taking his eyes off the document he had before him, Hiruzen looked at the other three. In his hand was their proposal. The basic idea is to significantly reduce the budget. But what exactly is the meaning of this, Koharu? Hearing her name, Utante Koharu opened her eyes in a narrow slit and peered at Hiruzen. It's 7 years since the end of the year. Life has gotten back to normal for the most part, and it has become customary for the Anbu to investigate serious and brutal crimes. The current role of the military police force is quite limited. There's no need for the same budget they've had in the past, is there? That said, isn't cutting their budget by 40% a bit too abrupt? A cut like this will also have a significant effect on military police force personnel. Starting at the sour look on Hiruzen's face, Mitokado Homura opened his mouth. Rebuilding after the Nine Tails attack is mostly complete. The urgent need now is for new facilities and wider roads. And now that early graduation has been abolished, the academy will need to expand soon as well. We don't need to have extra resources for a shrinking organization. I know that. But if we do this in such a way that we make the military police force alone the enemy, it will spur dissatisfaction among them. Danzo spat, seizing his opportunity. He continued without a pause. I will ask you then, is there another division in this village that is growing smaller as obviously as the military police force? The cause for this reduction is clear. Peace in the village and the expansion of Anbu duties. The military police force can perform no other role than maintaining the peace. And given the negative feelings of dissatisfaction they harbor toward the village, it's doubtful as to whether or not they are faithfully performing their role. I feel that maintaining their current budget is simply pampering them. It is not pampering, it's sheltering. Sheltering? Why would people with no impediment to their work need to be sheltered? Because the places where they can be active have been severely limited by people like you, who are prejudiced against the clan. Hiruzen pounded his desk and stood up as Homura and Koharu watched coolly. Rather than pushing back the grin that spread across his face, Danzo turned to the third Hokage, his old acquaintance, and said, "So, you would shelter them because there is prejudice. Isn't that, in and of itself, an act of distancing and discrimination? What did you? It's precisely because they have the military police force to work at, and because they are assured a more than ample budget from the village, that the Uchiha clan refused contact with outsiders and sneak around with people from their own circle. You distance them in the framework of the military police force under the pretext of sheltering them. And so you allow them to grow this evil flower of dissatisfaction within themselves. Isn't that so? The formation and management of the military police force was the dying wish of the second Hokage. Don't you feel that way of thinking is outdated?" Danzo asked. "I believe a revolution is necessary. Now, especially when the Great War is over and the scars from the Nine-Tails attack are beginning to heal. But what does everyone else think?" "I have no objection." Koharu voiced her agreement. Homura nodded silently. Danzo had already gone around to speak to them, and the three were of the same opinion on the matter of reducing the military police force budget. Only Hiruzen was on the outside. "And what will we do when the Uchiha's clan's dissatisfaction explodes?" "You're using Shisui to prevent that, are you not?" Danzo struck the final blow. It hit home. Hiruzen faltered. "Wasn't that the reason you pulled the young ninja, so worried about his clan, from his regular missions, gave him a position in name only, and permitted him a certain level of independence?" 30%, then, Hiruzen said hoarsely. A bitter choice. He was acting exactly as Danzo had expected. Danzo didn't believe a reduction of 40% was possible either. He had anticipated 30% being the point of compromise. If we cut any more than 30% of their budget, we won't escape backlash from the military police force. I respect the Hokage's decision. Hiruzen made an obviously disgusted face at Danzo's seemingly deliberate words.